What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my predictions for WrestleMania Backlash, which will be this Sunday, which will stream this Sunday on Peacock. No, I don't want to get copyrighted. You know how this works. But it's interesting because with WrestleMania Backlash coming up this Sunday, as of now, what I have on the card so far, what's on the card right now, there are 6 matches, and 5 of them are title matches, which is kind of interesting. We may end up seeing maybe the Intercontinental title. I don't know. Ooh, excuse me. But with that being said, let's get straight into it. First up, we have a match that was actually made official this past Monday on Raw. It is Damian Priest versus The Miz. This time it will now be a lumberjack match. And it's interesting because Damian Priest came up with the idea to Adam Pearce that if the match would be John Morrison versus Damian Priest this past Monday on Raw, the winner we get to name the stipulation, and Priest ended up defeating John Morrison, so he made it a lumberjack match to stop The Miz from escaping from Damian Priest. Honestly, given the fact that it is a lumberjack match, I gotta go with Damian Priest on this one. I feel like as if The Miz were to win this match on Sunday, there's no doubt in my mind that the rivalry is going to continue. But if Priest wins, then he's done. He'll be done with The Miz. He'll be able to put The Miz behind him and put his focus on winning championships on Raw. So I gotta go with Damian Priest on this one. Next up, we have the first of 5 title matches on the card as of now. Of course, the first one will be Roman Reigns versus Cesaro for the Universal title. It's interesting because Cesaro has had multiple opportunities at a world title, but but those matches were multi-man matches. More specifically, I believe, let's see. Yeah, I think so. They were all multi-man matches, and I think the only other opportunity he had was, I think, what was it? I think it was what? Maybe Elimination Chamber 2014, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think so. I think it was Elimination Chamber 2014, and I think he was eliminated, but I'll have to look back here. Yeah, I think it was over the WWE title. I think it was. I'm looking back on my card. I don't even have it. Yeah, that was from like that was like what, 7 years ago, which was pretty crazy. And if you guys wonder what I'm chewing, yeah, it's actually gum. But anyway, this is actually kind of interesting because Cesaro has been in the ring with Roman Reigns multiple times in the past, but the score has been mostly Roman Reigns picking up victories over Cesaro. But it's interesting because this is the first time that Cesaro is getting a major push in WWE. This is his first ever big push ever in his whole career, and it's interesting that it becomes that way because with Daniel Bryan now banned from SmackDown, which honestly is heartbreaking, Cesaro can put his focus on Roman Reigns and the Universal title. But Sorry, my laptop went off. There's a few things that we have to worry about. Number one is obviously Jey Uso getting involved. Number two is Jimmy Uso potentially getting involved as well to, I guess, protect Jey Uso. And the last thing that we have to worry about is Seth Rollins, because if Seth Rollins gets involved, Roman will still become Universal Champion no matter what. So I'm thinking, I wonder if Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville will find a way to nullify those X factors going into this match on Sunday. I'm curious if that's even possible, but honestly, there's no. I mean, do not get me wrong. I'm a big Cesaro fan. But there's no way in hell that he's gonna win. I will be surprised if he does, but I gotta go with Roman Reigns on this one. Next up, we have the SmackDown Tag Titles defended. Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode versus Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic. It's interesting because I believe this is only their first time that they're getting a regular tag match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. All the other times, have been in fatal 4-way matches and whatnot, but in a traditional tag team match, this is their first encounter. So, given the fact that Roode and Ziggler have gelled so well together based on respect, and the Mysterios have gelled together based on family history, it boggles the mind as to who's going to get the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I feel like as if, given the fact that Roode and Ziggler, if I remember correctly, right, let's see. Let's see here. If I remember correctly, I believe it was back in February, if I remember correctly, that Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode ended up defeating defeated the Street Profits to win the SmackDown Tag Team. I think it was like sometime like last year or something, if I remember right. Yeah, I think it was like sometime earlier this year. I don't remember. It's been a while, but given the fact that they won the SmackDown Tag Team titles from the Street Profits earlier this year, there's no doubt in my mind that Roode and Ziggler, they're tired. They want they've been champions for quite a while now. I think it's time for new champions to come in, and I think maybe we'll see Rey and Dom pick up that victory and become the first ever father-son tag team champions in WWE. If I was a bet man, I would put my money on the Mysterios because people forget Rey Mysterio knows Dolph Ziggler oh too well, and that could play a huge factor going into this match on Sunday. So I gotta go with the Mysterios on this one. Next up, we have a triple threat match for the Raw Women's title. Rhea Ripley defends against Asuka, and you guessed it, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair was suspended for attacking WWE referee Eddie Oregro. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm probably butchering it, but after her loss, I think to Asuka, and no, I think was it to Mandy? I think her loss to Asuka, if I remember correctly, but she was suspended indefinitely, which was announced on Raw Talk later that night, and was fined $100,000 if I remember correctly. But then the next week on Raw, she was reinstated. She paid her fine. Not only apologized to the referee, but Charlotte Flair demanded that the referee apologize to Charlotte Flair for something. I don't even know what the hell. And Sonya Deville gave Charlotte Flair a spot in the Raw Women's title match, making it a triple threat. Let's not forget, this isn't the first time that this happened. Remember, if you guys remember, at NXT TakeOver In Your House, it was a triple threat match for the NXT Women's title. Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai challenged Charlotte Flair at NXT TakeOver In Your House last year, and the card for TakeOver that night was pretty stacked. I mean, we had Tommaso Ciampa versus Karrion Kross, Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. We had the NXT Women's title triple threat match. We had Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American title. Adam Cole versus the Velveteen Dream for the NXT title, which we have not seen the Velveteen Dream since last December. So it's been about five maybe 6 months since we last saw him, and I swear my laptop needs to stop turning off. And then of course we had Shotzi Blackheart teaming up with Mia Yim, or I guess now Reckoning, and Tegan Nox to take on Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Candice LeRae. And it's interesting because that triple threat match was the highlight of the entire card. Like, it was all the hype. It was literally all the hype. It was as hyped up as was gonna get, and Io Shirai picked up the victory. I have no doubt in my mind that if that happened last year, there's no doubt in my mind that Asuka's gonna win. There's no doubt that Asuka's gonna win. History could very may well repeat itself come this Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash, but I gotta go with Rhea Ripley on this one. She's still as hungry as ever. She's only been the Raw Women's Champion for a few weeks, and she still has a bright future ahead of her on Raw. So I gotta go with Rhea Ripley on this one. Next up, we have the SmackDown Women's title defended. Bianca Belair defends against Bayley. Sasha Banks is now with Sasha Banks now out of the SmackDown Women's title picture. Bayley is now back in it, and she's targeted Bianca Belair, all because of the fact that Bayley doesn't see Bianca as a major player on SmackDown. The funny thing is that Bianca Belair, she's had, if you guys remember, what was it, TakeOver Portland? Yeah. Was it? Yeah. If you guys remember at NXT TakeOver Portland, last year? Last year, before the pandemic hit, Rhea Ripley defended the NXT Women's title against Bianca Belair in what was a physical match, a very, very physical match, and despite the loss, Bianca Belair proved that she can be a main event player in WWE, whether it's on Raw, whether it's NXT, or whether it's SmackDown. She can be a main event player, and she proves it even further on WrestleMania Saturday, on night one of WrestleMania, where she defeated Banks with the KOD with the Kiss of Death, as she calls it, to win the SmackDown Women's title. This is kind of interesting because Bayley is, don't get me wrong, she is a former Women's Champion, the longest reigning, SmackDown Women's Champion of all time, 380 days. There's no doubt about it, but there's no way in hell that Bianca Belair would lose the title to Bayley after holding the title for only like a month. There's no way in hell. If that were to happen, she would be the laughing stock of the SmackDown Women's division, and she'll prove Bayley's point right. But if Bianca Belair wins and retains the title against Bayley, then Bayley will realize that Bianca Belair is a main event player on SmackDown, and she could be a big threat to the entire SmackDown women's locker room. So it's kind of an interesting scenario, but I gotta go with Bianca on this one. I think Bianca Belair is gonna win it, in my honest opinion. But now we move on to the WWE Championship. It is now a triple threat match between the champion Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, the challenger, and now Braun Strowman, the second challenger. This is interesting because Bobby Lashley has been in the ring with both these three men have been in the ring with each other more times than I care to count. Obviously, we know the battles that Braun Strowman had with Bobby Lashley. I think what was it like? I think in 2019, I remember like a couple of years ago, there was a episode of Raw where I think it was Falls Count Anywhere or Last Man. I think Last Man Standing, and Braun Strowman had speared Lashley through the LED screens on the stage, and sparks started to fly, and they were both taken to a hospital that night, which was absolutely insane. I think it's on YouTube. You guys can actually check it out on YouTube. I think if you just type in Bobby Lashley versus Braun Strowman 2019 on YouTube, it should be there. But now with Drew McIntyre involved in the mix, the possibilities are endless. There's no telling what can happen with this matchup. The only thing that I can say is that sparks are going to fly, no pun intended. This is going to be very, very interesting because you have a guy, Bobby Lashley, who is a two-time ECW champion. He's a two-time Intercontinental champion. He's a two-time United States champion, and he's a former, and he's now the current WWE champion, and he's been champion since post the Elimination Chamber. Because if you guys remember, if you guys remember, at Elimination Chamber, Bobby Lashley attacked Drew McIntyre, which allowed The Miz to cash in money, Money in the Bank and become WWE Champion. 2 weeks later, Bobby Lashley gets the title shot. He's now champion. Fast forward to now, and he's still champion. Will he still be champion this Sunday? Honestly, it's hard to say because that this is a triple threat. Bobby Lashley has a 33% chance of retaining the title, so the odds are not in his favor. So his best bet is probably to let McIntyre and Strowman beat the hell out of each other. Then Lashley comes in, spears Braun Strowman, puts the Hurt Lock on Drew McIntyre. McIntyre passes out. He retains the WWE title. If it was Drew McIntyre, it'd probably be the same thing, but instead, 2 Claymores to the face, he becomes champion. But for Braun Strowman, two running power slams, and that's it. Honestly, honestly, I gotta pick Braun Strowman on this one. He needs this is a championship that he has been after for quite a while. Even though he's been after the Universal title, over the years, the WWE title is the most prestigious championship in all of professional wrestling. And if Braun Strowman becomes champion, that would make him this would make him the most dangerous man on Raw. Plain and simple. But with that being said, as far as like what we can expect, so we know we have those matches on the card as of now. As far as like what else we could see, I could definitely see the Intercontinental title be a fatal 4-way. Apollo Crews defending against Sami Zayn, Big E, and Kevin Owens. If that match were to take place, I gotta put my money on Apollo Crews. There's no way in hell that Apollo Crews is gonna lose the title that fast, especially with Commander Aziz in his corner. There's no way he'll lose it that fast. But there's really not much to talk about. But that is going to do it for this video. Question of the day: what are your guys' predictions for WrestleMania Backlash this Sunday, and what would you like to see happen this Sunday? Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button if you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more pay-per-view and NXT TakeOver predictions, which they happen about once, maybe twice a month. You guys know how this works. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All three of my links, both of my Twitters and my one Instagram, the links are down below. If you guys have fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.